What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, and in this video I'm doing a unboxing of the CountyComm Mystery Swag Pack. This is the Mega Big Daddy. There's three sizes. The largest, called the Mega Big Daddy, is what we're checking out today. Gen 17, so the 17th iteration of this, and this is for May 2023. They have two other sizes. This one's going to run you $98.95. The next tier down is $19.95, I believe, and then the last tier is $9.95. Those ones are not necessarily monthly. This one, they're kind of moved to a monthly, and you can even subscribe to it to save $5 a month, so $93.95. And I have unboxed these on the channel before in the past, kind of early on in the channel. I stopped because at the time I had most of the items on the CountyComm website, so they were starting to get repetitive, getting a lot of repeat items. So I took a break from them. Now there's a lot of items on the site I don't have and a lot more coming out, so thought it would be a good time to give them another chance. Now, I will link to everything that I got in this box that's available on their website in the description below. I am an affiliate with them, although I bought this myself. They don't send out free items or anything like that. They just give me a coupon code that I can share with you, which is Uncommon EDC in all caps. Will save you 10%. So let's get into it. I'll talk about the value. I'm doing this one a little bit differently than the last one. The last one, I literally unboxed it. This one, I took everything out. I did record it just in case I wanted to use that footage, but I really want to try out this format where I have the pricing already and kind of know exactly what the items are. There were no items I didn't know in general what they were, but didn't know the exact names of them or the prices of them. So this format really allows me to give a little bit more information. So that's why I decided to try it out. Now, I'm just going to kind of go in order of what I listed on the paper. So right up top, we have what's serving as our background today. This is the Awesome Roll-Up Non-Slip Project Mat, and I'm not calling it Awesome, although it's cool. That's the actual name of it. This is 18 by 11, a non-slip mat, so you can see it's got this nice kind of silicone material, and it will lay flat eventually. It comes rolled up, and so I'm gonna have to put some heavy objects on the corners to get it to lay flat, but it will eventually lay flat and be non-slip. Has this kind of dimpled texture on the front side, the side that you're actually using, as well as some channels along the edge, so if you're using small parts and they roll away, they'll get caught in that channel before they just roll off your table. So that's a kind of nice feature. These are listed at $24.95. And one other thing I should mention is they did say this one is going to be one where everyone gets the same item, so there might be some variation in color, but everyone's going to get the same item. So if you don't want to be spoiled and you're planning on ordering Gen 17, then probably hold off on watching this until you've gotten yours. But let's go down the list now. Next up, and I think mention this is 18 by 11, $24.95. Next up is the first duplicate. This is the Adventure CountyComm Swagg Keychain. I picked this up pretty recently. It's only 99 cents, so if you're gonna get a duplicate, this is a good one to get because it's the cheapest item in the box. Just a kind of hotel-esque keychain with the CountyComm logo on the front, topo pattern on the back. Only comes in orange, so this is the exact color you're gonna get as well. But cool little keychain. I'll probably end up giving that away to someone else that I know that likes CountyComm stuff and I don't think has it yet, so don't mind getting that duplicate at all. Now, moving down the list, next up is another item that's sort of a duplicate, although I plan on keeping this one. This is the little pair of dice, and this is a copper version. They come in copper, brass, or titanium. These are listed at $9.50 on the website. I already have some, but kind of a mismatch. I have all three, copper, brass, and titanium. I have 4 of one, 2 of another, 2 of another, and so I have enough to use for like Yahtzee, for example, but nice to kind of build up this set of one color so I can use them together and not mix and match them. Just standard dice in a very, very miniaturized size, which is really, really cool. Fun little dice. They also make giant versions. None of those came in this box, but I do have some of the giant ones as well. Next up is another pretty cool item. This is the Weatherproof carbon fiber notebook, and as it implies, it is carbon fiber, so nice kind of rigid material here. And that's going to protect the corners of your paper a little bit better than if it were a cardboard, so kind of cool. Also looks cool, a little bit heavier than a standard notebook, but looks cool. And the carbon fiber is not the only part that's weatherproof. This isn't Right in the Rain brand, but basically the same type of paper as Right in the Rain. It's a water resistant paper that water will just bead right off of. So cool little notebook. You can buy replacement pages. It comes with 50 sheets installed, but if you buy the replacements, you'll get a spiral bound replacement with 50 sheets, and you can just switch the cover over to that spiral. And this is gonna run you $14.95. So not too bad. The replacements are significantly cheaper, and I think a pretty cool notebook. Now, next up, we have some Amerispec glow tape roll. This is 1.15 inches wide. It's just tape that glows in the dark. It glows really well. I've done a short on the thinner version of this one, just showing how it glows around a Bic lighter, but you can just throw this on anything. If you wanted your notebook to glow, throw a strip of tape. You can put it down on a craft mat, cut out different shapes in it if you want certain shapes of glowing stickers, but obviously limited to the size, which is 1.15 inches wide. This is the thicker of the two, and then you get 15 feet of it. So a really cool item, and these aren't too expensive either. They come in at $6.95. Next up is another spooled item. This is the micro reflective cord, 65 feet of it. It's a 200-pound test, has a little bit of a reflective pattern in there. You can get this in different colors. This one's obviously black, but I've seen red, blue, maybe a few other colors as well. So depending on what comes in yours, you might get a different color, but these are really good. I also have some of this, but another item that you really can't have too much of, cordage. And so definitely don't mind seeing the duplicates of either the cordage or the tape there. Now I'm gonna skip the next item just because I have some other items on top of it right now, but I'll work my way back to it. Next up, we have the tumbled titanium EOD breacher bar. And this is really cool. I got one in the previous box, but it was the smaller size. This is a large version that comes in at 8.25 inches long. It is titanium, really nice kind of pry bar slash breacher bar. A little bit on the smaller side for a breacher bar, but a really nice size for a pry bar. Now, I probably wouldn't pick this up because it's not super EDC-able. You know, a lot of the pry bars I carry are much smaller, not necessarily as usable, but much smaller so that they can fit in a pocket or a pouch. This one's pretty large, so unless you really know that you're going to use it, not necessarily something I'd want to carry around, which is why I'm glad it came in the box, since it's not something I'm going to buy. 4.25 ounces, a little bit on the heavier side. $39, and again, not something I'm going to buy, but because of how I got it, I basically either got this for free or at a large discount, depending on how you look at it. And so really cool to get the larger one, since I already have the smaller one, which I think is 6.5 inches. I tried anodizing that one. It was one of the first items that I anodized. It didn't come out very great. Don't know if I'm going to do this one or not, but also has some holes here so you can make a paracord wrap handle, but they do sell a handle that slides over here now as well, which is kind of a newer thing. These bars have been around for a while, the handles have not. But really cool item at $39. We're definitely getting close to the value of our box already, and we still have a lot of items left. So right after that, we have another titanium item. This is the Pocket Strong Box with loop. This is Gen 2. Just a small cash container that you can put Tic Tacs, you can put pills, you can put bits in here, a lot of different items, and it slides open. Just kind of slides open. There's a ball G-tent at the end to hold it into place so it doesn't slide too easily, but it's pretty easy to get on and off. And I was a little bit off track there, but pretty easy to get on and off. You do have to break past that detent, but once you do, you can see it slides really freely. Also has a topo pattern on there, so another cool titanium item, and that one's also a decent price there, $35, $34.95. So now we're definitely over that $100 value at this point. But still, like I said, a lot of items left, including the most valuable item, which I'm kind of holding towards the end. Next up, we have a 10-pack of UGM mini markers, and I'm just going to show one for now. This is Gen 2 of them. Just these really tiny glow markers. Their stuff glows really well, and you can put these on a keychain, on a zipper pull, any sort of cordage. You can glue them to objects, and just a little marker that you can use however you would use a glow marker. And so a 10-pack is going to run you $7.25, and you do get all 10. And so they have a lot of different sizes and variations of similar products. So depending on if you don't like this small square, you can get a bigger square, you can get one that's in kind of like a rod shape, different things. So a lot of options there. Now the next item is the PSK, which stands for Personal Safety Kit, Brass Flint Wheel Sparker. And so this is just an emergency fire starter. So there's no fuel source, so you can't actually light this by itself. You're gonna have to either gather fuel or carry your own, like tinder, but it just throws sparks, and it comes with extra flint. You screw this section off the back, put the flint in there. There's 3 extras in the bag, and this wheel, you just spin it like you would spin a lighter. So regular Bic, a Zippo all have similar wheels that use flint exactly the same, and you spin it and it throws sparks. So just kind of a nice emergency fire starter system. It is brass, kind of a nice looking one and really compact. I have a couple of these, not necessarily from CountyComm, that are a little bit longer, some are a little bit thicker. So I like the size of this one, and it will run, let's see, $14.95. So not cheap for what it is. Obviously you can get a lighter for cheaper than that, but really cool option that's really compact and kind of fits that, I guess, Altoid tin theme if you want to throw it in something like that, or just your fire kit, which is cool. Next up, we have a 2-pack of items. This is their thumbtack compass, and these are just miniature button compasses, and they're called thumbtack based on their size, not necessarily, there's no tack on the back, but you can glue these onto a walking stick or your survival kit, whatever you want, and it will point you in the right direction. They do seem to be accurate right now. One thing with these little button compasses, they're not always super accurate, so definitely make sure you know that it's accurate before using it. It could just be pointing you in the wrong direction, but both of them are pointing the same direction and line up with what the directions show on my phone. They are brass, and 2 of them are gonna run you $8.25. So not too bad there, and just a cool little item that's pretty nice looking for a button compass. I think they're pretty good. After that, we had a item that we've gotten in several of the all 3 different tiers of the subscription, or of this mystery pack. And this is the mini utility scissors Gen 2. These are $3.25, basically just medical shears, and they have 3 sizes of them. This is the smallest of them, also the cheapest of them, which is nice. I have a bunch of these in first aid kits that I built and extras even after that, but it is nice to have more than one, because if you want to build another first aid kit, maybe a smaller one or a larger one, you don't have to cannibalize it from your other kit. You can just have one. So always nice to have. They work well. Haven't had to use them in any heavy first aid situations, but have used them to cut bandage and stuff like that, and they work really well, even the small version. Those run $3.25. Next up is a really interesting item. This was one where I pulled out, I knew it was like a figurine, but didn't know anything else about it. This is their Ponder stainless steel figurine. It's basically just a small skeleton, not sure how well that's gonna pick up, sitting over a skull, pondering. It does have a couple openings here, so it's not obvious that you could use this as a bead, but you definitely could run a lanyard through between the rib cage and the pelvic bone, basically. But these are a design made by a jeweler that they came across, or no, I don't know exactly, but a jeweler, and they made the mold and cast these, really detailed little figurine. This is actually gonna run you $29.95, which I was pretty surprised about. Not something I would buy, but I'm considering this a free item since this box went well over the value that I paid for it. So a cool item. I've gotten a skull from them before as well in a similar kind of format, and like the skull a little bit better. This one's so small, but just a cool little desk item or piece of pocket art, whatever you want to use it for. Next, we have another kind of emergency survival item, and I couldn't find the exact item. This is a pocket straight razor listed at $2.25. Just basically an emergency razor, flips out of this tiny plastic handle. And I listed it at $2.25 because there's an item that's basically exactly the same, but a slightly different handle shape. So I think these were prototypes that they didn't end up using. They ended up releasing the other one, but they're exactly the same, just kind of squared instead of rounded at the end. And so $2.25, another item that's good for, you know, a survival kit, something like that, throw in a pouch, but it's also small enough that you can slide it really anywhere and have a nice backup blade if you don't want to destroy your main blade, or if you lose your main blade for whatever reason. And then now we're gonna get to a couple items that aren't listed on their website. So first of all, we got 3 of these, which at first I thought were zipper pulls because they were rolled up into a Ziploc bag. But once you pull it off, it's clear this is a wrist strap. It looks like something that would come with a camera that you purchased. I'm guessing they're throwing these on flashlights is my best guess, but they're not listed for individual sale. This slides up so you can tighten it onto your wrist, and the section that would attach to your camera or flashlight is a quick release. You just squeeze to release it. Get 3 of those. I don't know what the value of them is, so I'm not including them in the total value, but we did get 3 of those. Now next up are these vials. We got 5 of each color cap, and also not listed on the website. These are, I think, a discontinued product. I have seen these before, but couldn't find the listing. They took the page down. It's not just sold out, it's non-existent on the website. But these are tiny vials that you can use for storing anything you want. Seasoning comes to mind. If you're camping and want to take some seasoning with you, you can put pills in here, different pills, different color caps. Really anything, small dice you can fit in there. And so they're just little tubes that will tighten up and store a bunch of small objects. Now these do come with 5 of each, so not a lot of cap color variation. I wouldn't mind seeing more, so if you have similar looking items in it but want to differentiate them, you would be able to, but you can just write right on top of the cap if you don't mind writing on them. And then I have all of those stored inside one of their parts trays. This is the Armor non-slip tray, the smaller size, 6 inches by 4 inches. I have a bunch of these, but my wife uses them quite a bit for different types of crafts. She has a lot of small little things that she crafts with, and they can easily get lost, so she likes to use these part trays. I use them every once in a while for disassembly and stuff too, but more so my wife ends up using a lot of them, so don't mind seeing another one of them. They're not super expensive. They come in at $7.95 for this size. There's also a larger size that's not quite as large as this 18 by 11, but larger than this one. And you can see I have all 10 of those vials, as well as the other 9 of the UGM glow markers in there. So that's where I was kind of storing stuff off of camera. Now, that's almost everything. We have one more item, the most valuable item in the box, and that is this Titanium Armor's Precision Hammer. Now, a really cool hammer. This is all titanium, about 10 inches long, and it comes with different heads. So I have the nylon head installed on the bottom as well as on the right, and then the steel head on the left. And so depending on what task you're doing, you might want a steel hammer, but if you need something a little bit more fragile, you can use this nylon head. And there's also the nylon back, which you can use for a little bit more gentle kind of swings. You tend to swing a little bit harder when you're swinging downwards than if you're just hitting it with the pommel of that. And so really cool. Also comes with these 2 brass heads, which I don't necessarily have a use for, but you can unscrew any of the 3 and replace them with this brass head. I think the advantage is that these are non-ferrous, and so there's some stuff where you don't want to create a spark if there's fuel around, some sort of ignition source, that if a spark hit it, it would catch on fire, or you could short something. I think that's the advantage to brass. Now, they made this for an aerospace client, but can be used for armorers, jewelers, machinists, a lot of different uses for them. And the reason I was so excited about this is, one, it's pretty much the entire value of the box at $94.95. The box is $98.95. And if you do the monthly subscription, you are actually $1 ahead already, because that monthly subscription is $93.95, and so you're $1 ahead. But also because I don't necessarily need this, I do, remove watch links and stuff like that and use this small hammer, so this is kind of a nicer version than what I have, but I don't necessarily need it. Couldn't justify spending $95 on it, but getting in the box, I'm really happy to have it. It's really nice, titanium obviously here, pretty hefty but not extremely heavy, and gives you all of those different options with the nylon heads, the steel heads, the brass head, and so nice to just have a bunch of different options here. And again, the whole value of the box. So now, 2 of the items I don't have values on, the wrist straps as well as these vials. So I'm gonna say combined, I would guess these are probably like $3, and these are probably like $6 or $7 for a 10-pack. I'd say $10, but I'm not gonna include them in my total value. My total value without those 2 items was $305.04 for a $98.95 box. And so really great value here. I'm pretty happy with the items. I got a couple duplicates, very minimal, different sizes of some stuff that I already have, but the duplicates that I got are ones that I don't mind, the shears, the tape, the keychain. And so really, really good box with a lot of stuff that I don't have already. I'll put links to everything down in the description. If you're interested in checking it out, definitely do so. I'll probably kind of be game time decision on whether or not I do next month. Probably gonna depend on how I'm feeling with Blade Show coming up. I don't know that, I think they'll probably release June before Blade Show. And so depending on where I'm feeling with my budget there, I may or may not end up picking this up. But thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button. Let me know what's your favorite item from this box was if you subscribe to the CountyComm subscription, or if there's anything else on the CountyComm website that I should check out. I probably have, with this new stuff, close to maybe somewhere between a third and a half of the items. So it may be something that I already have, or it may be something new to me, but definitely open to checking them out, especially now that I'm affiliated with them. I've already used my discount. It's like a one-time discount. And so it's not like I'm gonna get a discount or they're gonna send any of them to me, but I really like CountyComm stuff. So interested in checking out a lot of them. As long as it's something that I'm already interested in, I don't mind picking it up if, you know, it makes sense. But thanks again for watching. As always, I hope you have a great one. Take care.